I have wear tested these 10 blushes to give you my recommendation. For reference, I have combination skin and neutral to warmer undertone. Starting with the Merit blush in the shade Beverly Hills. This at this point I feel like is somewhat of a cult favorite. It glides on so easily, very smooth and easy to blend out. I really love the shade of Beverly Hills. In the packaging, it looks a little bit more pinky mauvey tone, but on the skin, it actually has a bit of peachy coral in the shade, and it is perfect for my warm skin tone. I really love the look when I first apply it. Now the downside is it doesn't really last all day. Maybe because it is so smooth and it just glides on way too easily, which probably means it glides off quite quickly throughout the day. I pretty much only use this blush on my no makeup days when all I needed is to do my brow, added some blush and a tinted lip balm to give my face a bit more life. This is the perfect option. For all of the wear tests, I pretty much kept the rest of my face makeup the same, and I wore my makeup for at least 5 to 7 hours to really give you a more accurate comparison of how the blushes wear. The next one is this cutie here, the Ilia blush in the shade At Last. Actually, it's called a multi-stick. You can use this as not just a blush, but also on your lips or maybe even as pinky eyeshadow. It is definitely a more mauvey color. It is a bit more pinkier than the Merit one, and this one also is less glidey on the skin, so I do appreciate that the color stays on my face a little bit longer. This I got from the Sephora birthday gift last year, I believe, so it is in the itty bitty packaging, but honestly I've never really used up a blush product, so I kind of wish all the blushes come in these tiny packaging so it's easier to try out more blushes without worrying about wasting them. It does go really well with my makeup and it lasts pretty much all day, even though it looks kind of mauvey in the tube. Once it's blended out, it is a little bit less mauvey and it almost gives similar vibe to the Merit one, but I do like that this color lasts on my face all day. Next is another favorite of a lot of people. It's the Tower 28 Beach Please Magic Hour. So this is a cream blush. First of all, love the packaging, and one thing to keep in mind with this blush, a little bit goes a very long way. You will see when I first applied it, I definitely over applied it, so I did powder down my face to tone down the shade. This is pretty much the perfect peachy shade. Color payoff is very strong, but you can also quite easily tap it out to tone down the shade a bit. And I love that this is a cream formula, so it does stay on the face a little bit longer. The only thing is, I would say if you use a cream blush, just don't use any sort of powder foundation because the cream and the powder will kind of fight against each other. This is also a really beautiful shade on the lips. I have definitely worn this as like a lip shade to match with the blush. And there is so much product in here actually, because you only need a little bit at a time. I feel like I will just never be able to run out of this product. And it's got pretty good lasting power. I will say the Ilia lasting power is slightly stronger than the Tower 28. Next is the Bloom Effects Tulip Tint in the shade Crispa Coral. As you can see, I do love my coral shades. This almost gives me a bit of the Glossier Cloud Paint vibe. It is a very much oil-based formula, so as you can see, it glides again almost too smoothly and even more glidey than the Merit one. The result is you don't really get that even of a payoff. And while I do love the color of this crisp coral shade, it just does not last on my skin, unfortunately. There's so much product in this tube. I feel like this is another blush where you would probably only wear on your no makeup days, and you would definitely need to touch it up every couple of hours. Without touching it up throughout the day, the color pretty much completely disappears at the end of day. We got a powder blush. This is the very famous Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic in the shade Pillow Talk. So the most classic powder blush from Charlotte Tilbury. Is a very beautiful, subtle, pinky, corally shade. Very, very fine powder, and it just feels like it blends into the skin super, super quickly. There is, again, so much product in this blush. I don't think I will ever run out of it. The only thing I don't like the packaging is it's kind of hard to open it. Quite tight of a packaging, and especially if you have longer nails, it will hurt your nails when you try to open this. But the packaging is quite secure in that once it's closed, you can very safely take it to any trips. It is also a very thin packaging. I just love Charlotte Tilbury beauty in general. At the end of the day, you still see kind of the corally residue of the blush, and I do like it is a powder formula, especially when it is really hot. I do tend to get a little bit more oily on my face, so this almost helps with kind of powdering the cheeks of my face. Next one is Wonder Beauty Double Date Lip and Cheek. So it's actually got the cheek bit, which you can also use on your lips, but it also has a little lip balm with a mini mirror, which is really handy, especially if you're traveling and you just want a quick little product to do a no makeup face. And this color is quite a vibrant pink, and this is another one similar to the Tower 28 where a tiny bit goes a long way. Definitely need to blend it in quite quickly after you apply, and I definitely applied too much in the clip, so I did have to powder it down quite a bit, and this is definitely more of a almost purplish pinky shade, and it has a pretty okay staying power, not as strong as the Tower 28 one, but if I'm going for something pinky, like for example with the outfit I'm wearing now, I could definitely go for a shade like this, because once it's blended out, it actually looks pretty neutral, just gives like a hint of pink with a little bit of purple undertone to your face. Next, I have two products from Freck Beauty. They're both in the cheek slime line. So the first shade is Cuffed. This is my preferred shade out of the two. It is a beautiful corally shade. As you can see, another one of those products where a little bit goes a long way, and you definitely need to tap it out quite a bit to make it feel a bit more natural on the skin. But I really love this color. It's actually quite similar to the Tower 28 one here, and it can also be used as a lip product. I do realize with the cheek slime line, you really have to blend it out as soon as you put it on your face because it dries down very, very quickly. So if you are not careful, you can very easily see like a clear division between the blush and the non-blush area. So that's the only downside, and I actually kind of prefer using these just as a lip tint. It does have pretty okay lasting power. You can still see kind of the corally tone at the end of the day. This next shade is called Fielding. As you can see even from the bottle, this is a slightly darker shade. and I definitely didn't blend it in thoroughly right away. So at the end of the day, you do kind of see a streak of the blush. I do love the color of this. It's just a bit more pigmented, but again, you really have to work it in very, very quickly. It almost has a little bit of pinky mauvey undertone to it. It's such a gorgeous shade when it is colder. I feel like this shade instantly just warms you up a bit. I actually prefer this shade on my lips. I really, really love this warm corally color, and I think I am going to just add these two products to my lip collection instead of using them as a blush, because I just don't want to stress about having to blend them in immediately after putting them on, and sometimes when I see the streak, it is kind of hard to fix. This is a random one. This is from the brand by Semra. I think the range is 1 of 1. I'm honestly not sure, but the shade name is Talkback, and it is another one of those lip and cheek product. In fact, very similar vibe to the Ilia one, although you can see this Talkback is a lot more vibrant than the Ilia one. I definitely applied way too much my hand, but once blended out, it actually looks really natural. I feel like this is a better version than the Wonder Beauty one because this lasts on my face in a really beautiful way. Also, it is quite easy to travel with, and it is pretty compact. Now it's more of a, I guess, balmy texture too, so I would also prefer to use my finger to dab it on. Another one of those no makeup blushes. Maybe the problem is I have too many no makeup blushes in my collection. I don't really need all of them. I'm saving my favorite to the last, and it is the famous Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. If you watch any beauty video maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this was all the rage, and I have had this blush. This might be my very first makeup item. I have had this for yeah, pretty much over 10 years. I refuse to get rid of it. Part of it is also that it's a powder formula, so I anyways apply it on top of whatever my base makeup is, so I'm not too worried about it really harming my skin, and it really hasn't. It is what I am wearing now. Just the most beautiful formulation and color payoff. Very buildable. It is great baked powder formula that is perfect to wear in the summertime, and there is so much product here. I have truly worn this probably hundreds of times, and I still have so much left. It's also got like a little bit of sheen, so it almost serves as a slight highlighter too, like the name suggests, Luminoso. Love the shade so much. I mean, look at my hand. This is, most of my blushes are in the exact same shade. So if I were to pick my top choice, well, this is my very favorite blush. If I can only keep one blush in my collection, it will be Luminoso. My favorite cream blush would be the Tower 28 Beach Please Magic Hour. This is just the perfect cream blush formula. You can easily build it up. A little bit goes a long way, so you will never run out of this blush either. And I love the packaging of it. It's very travel friendly. These two are probably my honorable mentions. The Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic, I just really love Charlotte Tilbury, so I am basically at this point collecting Charlotte Tilbury beauty products. And this Ilia one, it's just perfect to put in your little makeup bag if you do touch up your makeup throughout the day, or perfect for traveling with. It's so compact, it can take care of your cheek and your lips at the same time, and it's got pretty good lasting power. So I really like this, and particularly this itty bitty packaging. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite blush product.